Hello and welcome to Season 2. We are Paul and Leah, who sailed our boat around the Pacific Islands for a time until COVID appeared. After sailing back to Australia, we are now coastal cruising. Join us as we experience coastal Queensland and don't forget to subscribe.
Looking quite beige, got me deep in the haze. There's no more compassion, no. Raise me, I need something fast, I need something to last and give satisfaction, no.
So this depth this morning is 6.9 metres. It was 3.6 when we anchored going towards low tide last night. We're about 4 or 5 metre tide here. Okay, the bushes are up now. See all the mud banks last night. Came in, yesterday afternoon I should say. Go over this side a bit. Okay, it's a bit rough and we've got wind against tide here. So 2 boats in front of us heading in the same direction. We're doing just over 5 knots.
Sometimes it's good to have a motor yacht with the increased speed. As we travelled further up the Narrows, we started to enter the shallowest area, which is called Ramsay's Crossing.
So we've got 3.4 metres underneath us now, which is the really shallow bit. That's Black Swan Beacon there, which is the start or the end of the Narrows, whichever way you're coming from. And then it starts to open up into the main channel, and then the port of Gladstone is just ahead of us. Behind me is Laird Point and Graham Creek. I've got to sort of try and get inside the cabin because the wind's pretty strong. But you can see there in front, that's LNG. That's one of the LNG projects. There was 3 of the projects there side by side, and that's where I spent the last 4 years of my working life, on that project there, which was the biggest of the 3 LNG projects. And you can see all the large tankers which are on the wharf there, ready, waiting to be loaded up with gas. So most of them get sent to Korea, most of the gas.
Korea?
Yeah. And those tanks are where they store the LNG, where they store the gas, and they bring it down to a very, very low temperature. Which compresses it.
Well, look at you.
You was on it as well, dear, wasn't you? Loved every minute, didn't you?
Great time.
There you go.
The $24.7 billion LNG project commenced production in late 2015, with the first cargo of LNG shipped the 9th of January 2016. The project converts coal seam gas from the Surat Basin in the south of Queensland and sends it through a 530 kilometre pipeline to a facility on Curtis Island near Gladstone. Here it is converted into gas and stored in large tanks before being loaded onto tankers and exported overseas. The extracted gas is processed at the Curtis Island facility to remove impurities. Processed gas is then cooled to extremely low temperatures, typically around minus 162 centigrade. This cooling process causes the gas to condense into a liquid state, which reduces its volume by about 600 times. It's then stored in the special tanks and then transported by ships for export. The project has a lifespan of at least 30 years. It is a joint venture between Origin Energy, who own 27.5%, ConocoPhillips, who own 47.5%, and Sinopec, who own 25%.
Overseas and leave us with nothing, so we have to buy it back.
Winds, the waves are really starting to stand up. The winds are really starting to stand up now. We're doing over 7 knots boat speed, but current against tide. Look at it coming through. Gladstone Marina. Just looking at the weather for today, leaving Gladstone, it looks like we've got an easterly for most of the morning. It's only light, and it looks like it could be turning into the northeasterly during the afternoon, which is good, but it's all light winds. We'll be doing a fair bit of motoring. But if we look at windy, we are here. We are here, coming down this way. And you look along here. So this is the time now. Easterly, 5 to 10, really light. And then this afternoon, 7 to 11, 9 to 13, 8 to 14, and then dying late tonight, 11. And then coming round to the southwest. So yeah, this is the route we're taking. Down through here, through there, past Busted Head, Agnes Water, and down here to Bundaberg, down to there. So it's a total of about 90 miles altogether if we go through the night. Another thing that we've got to look at is the tides leaving Gladstone as well, because we need to time that right going down the channel, else we'll have about 3 knots of tide against us. So the high tide is about 11:30, so we need to time it sometime before 11:30, so we've got the tide assisting us out through the channel. So here we are, we're here. That's Gladstone Marina, and this is the shipping channel coming down through here, through past Gatcombe Head, and then we sort of do a dog leg there. And we continue out round these banks here, round Rodd's Peninsula, Busted Head, which is a lighthouse there. And once we get to Busted Head, we head down this way, past Agnes Water, 1770, Round Hill, whatever you want to call it, down to Bundaberg, which is here. Bundaberg's there, so it's about 90 miles all up. So there, yep, down to there, sort of curved round. So going into the easterly, light easterlies motoring. Hopefully we'll be able to sail a bit when we get the northeasterly coming down this way. Cross down there. Just going past some of the large ships. That one there's a vehicle carrier. I think this is one of the, I think it's the largest commercial port or shipping port in Queensland. I don't know whether it's the biggest one on the east coast. Probably Newcastle's bigger, but it's up there in the top 5 anyway. Just going up the shipping channel now, doing about 3.5–4 knots. We should have the current going with us in a while. That'll give us 2 or 3 knots. That's QAL, so that's the Queensland alumina refinery. And I know it was partly owned by the Russians, or majority owned by the Russians actually. I don't know whether it still is. I think it was owned by Alcan as well. Not sure who owns it these days. Yeah. And that would be bauxite over there, the red mounds. That's how they process alumina from bauxite or aluminium. Never know whether it's alumina or aluminium. I always say aluminium, but the Americans usually say alumina. Doesn't mean to say that's right though. So I think different places have different ways of saying it. We've got an apparent wind angle of about 48–50 degrees. We've got it's about 12.6 knots from the northeast. So we're reasonably close hauled, and we're doing around about 5.5 to 6 knots. So we're doing pretty good. We've got to get round the headland in the front, and the next headland after that is Busted Head. There's 3 rocks that stick out. We're going to miss them before we turn towards Bundaberg and go down more southerly than we are now. And these are all the boats that are anchored off Gladstone, waiting to come in, I imagine, to either get loaded up with, I don't know, coal or LNG, wood chip as well. I think they load in Gladstone. There's a few things there. There's a lot of boats going into Pancake Creek to anchor for the night. We're just going to keep going on. There's 3 either side of me actually, and there's a bit of a race going on to the port side of me. 3 boats there. One was a Perry, I think. I don't know if I can count them all, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's about 15 boats, I reckon, anchored over there, including the ones that are going in now. That lighthouse, that's Busted Head Lighthouse. Our only obstacle in front, we've got 3 lots of rocks. One's you can see breaking just in front of us, and the other one's over to the left on the port bow, and there's others over there you can see breaking as well. So we're leaving Busted Head behind. Got a bit of a slow old trip. We've got another catamaran over there keeping us company throughout the night, but we're going to go pretty slow. The wind's died down to about 7 knots or less. We'll see how far we can persevere with the sails as they are. before we turn the engine on. So what we got? 3.6 knots. Thing is, I've got it on wind steer, so it's tended to drift off a little bit, but that's all right. 20 past 6 in the evening. As you can see, not much wind. 1.2 knots of wind, which is all over the place. Chart plotters on night vision. So that's us there off the coast. And we're heading down to Bundaberg, down here, nearly 30 miles away, roughly 30 miles. We are doing around about 5 knots, course 130 degrees. See, just gone 11 o'clock at night, it is. Try that on night shot. There you go. There we go. So nearly 5 knots we're doing. That's us up there. And about 30 miles to go to Bundaberg. And the wind is doing nothing. It's about less than 2 knots. And it's all over the place. We see. And that's the moon up there. Boat in front of us, which you can see over there. It's banging all over the place. Damp. Because there's no wind and it's flinging around. Got to put up for a few hours. There's also a boat behind us as well, which you can't see.
Overnight from Gladstone. It's pretty quiet, not many people around. There was quite a few boats, but they stopped off at Pancake Creek, and we were just with one boat for a while, but they were ahead of us, and there's no wind, and we're just going to pull into Bundaberg now and anchor in the river.
That big boat there is the cruise boat that goes out to Lady Musgrave Island from here. It's about 35 miles, I think, to Musgrave.
Thanks for watching, and join us next week as we continue our trip down the coast.